My name is Asiko and I'm a visual artist. I explore my work using photography, mixed media and film. I first fell in love with photography as a child. I always was in awe of pictures, even as a kid. But in the early 2000s when I actually started making my own photographs. I'm inspired by my cultural heritage as a Nigerian and as a Yoruba man. I'm inspired by the world that I live in. I'm inspired by women because my mom was such a powerful figure in my life as a child. So those are my great inspirations. If I had to describe my style, I would say it's organic, it's ethereal, it's atmospheric, and it has a lot of cultural aesthetics going through it. I think lockdown has made me more introspective than I usually am, and it's made me think about the work I'm creating. It's made me think more as a human being. It's made me more empathetic to what we were all going through and what my fellow human beings are going through. I believe lockdown was a bit of a change in how I create my work, and being more thoughtful and being more intentional about what I do. As I think the biggest challenge as being a black visual artist or photographer is there's the category, you're categorized into something as black, or you're pigeonholed. And I think for me that's one of my biggest challenges, because it prevents people from seeing me as more than one thing. They see me as just this one thing, and I am more than just this one thing. So my creativity during lockdown, it's hard to say whether it's grown. I think it's evolved, and I feel there's a difference. So I feel I'm always growing as an artist, but I feel there was an evolution. I created a new body of work during lockdown, and it allowed me time to breathe and just take time to create the work and not be pushed or be suffocated by all the things that are going on. I had time to actually create that work. So I feel it's made me more introspective, it's made me more creative, it's made me evolve my craft to a higher degree. My best quality as a photographer, and it might sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but it's the way I see the world and how my culture and who I am and my experiences have affected my view. I think for me that's the greatest asset I have. At the core of it, I believe in God, and I believe in this beautiful spiritual being who created all of us and gave us his greatest act of love, which is free will. And in that free will, there is this whole thing to create, to procreate, to create anything from clothes to technology to life. All that we see, we've been given this ability to do that. So for me, it's very much at the core, and I always want to make sure my work is in service in some way. So even the work I create, I'm edifying and celebrating the women in my life. I'm celebrating, because my mom was that first inspiration, and all these different women I've met. So I'm celebrating them because there have been challenges in my culture about celebrating womanhood. So there's that spiritual element to what we do. And for me, that makes me feel my work has more meaning to it, as opposed to it's just a pretty picture. There is a bit of giving my soul, or a bit of giving who I am into all these images. And I think sometimes people see that and they connect with that in terms of an aesthetic, but in terms of how it moves them. And I get messages about that. And for me, that's a beautiful thing. And I still think I'm on that journey to really being connected spiritually through my work. But that's part of the journey.